Well, what are we waiting for? Lights, camera, Retro Man!
G'day viewers, Retro Man here and welcome to the 80s Show. Now throughout the 1980s, Charles Bronson did numerous films for B-movie production house Cannon Films. Now in my opinion, one of the better films was Murphy's Law. This is a 1986 cop film that partnered Charles Bronson with a potty-mouth female. Now that was something a little bit different for Bronson. I mean, in his films, he's always the central character, and in this one he shares the screen with a female for 50% of the time. That's right guys, Bronson is actually handcuffed to this woman here, Kathleen Wilhoit, for most of the film. Now today we're going to be taking a look at what went into the casting process for the Cannon film Murphy's Law. Now guys, I'll start by saying that Charles Bronson had a career that spanned 50 years, and for about 25 years he often co-starred with his lovely wife Jill Ireland. But with this film guys, they actually needed a much younger woman. So Jill Ireland this time was a producer on this film and took a back seat from her usual co-starring role with her husband. And guys, they needed to get a female that was, say, in her 20s, maybe in her early 30s at the most, someone that had a lot of spark and a lot of flamboyant attitude. They really wanted to take the spark and the chemistry in this film to the next level. Now Bronson in this point of his career was 65 years of age, and the girl that they ultimately cast was Kathleen Wilhoit, who was about 21 at the time. Now guys, I think Kathleen does a serviceable job in this film. I mean, she's adequate in all areas, and guys, it could have though gone a very different way. So guys, let's start with a very famous singer that almost nabbed the role of petty thief Arabella McGee, played by Kathleen in Murphy's Law, the co-starring role opposite Bronson. Now guys, she was really big, this girl, in the 80s. In fact, she was the #1 pop star in the world, and amazingly, she expressed interest in this film. She, of course, was Madonna. Now, Madonna, of course, must have been a really enticing casting notion for Cannon, but Madonna came with a $1 million price tag, and Cannon were notorious for slashing the budgets of their films, so they really entertained the Madonna thing for no more than 5 minutes and kind of went, well, guys, we just really can't pay that sort of money. I mean, Bronson at this point was always getting $1 million to star in a Cannon film, and that was his set figure. And adding another $1 million to the budget and getting Madonna there, well, from my point of view, it certainly would have boosted the marketing of this film and made it a very interesting proposition for the public to see Madonna with an action superstar like Charles Bronson in a double team. I mean, that really is an entertaining prospect. But guys, Cannon said no. I think Cannon could have been a little bit more ostentatious and gone out on a limb and got another female out there that had a name, so the film could have been billed as a double team, Bronson and Madonna, as opposed to just Bronson. But that's another story, guys. We can always speculate on these casting decisions, and this was certainly an interesting one. I mean, at the end of the day, Murphy's Law made about 9 to 10 million US domestically, but I think with a Madonna thrown in there, this could have lifted the film to say 20 or 25 million. It certainly would have lifted the profile of the film in the long run. I mean, Kathleen Wilhoit received under the title billing, even though she is Bronson's co-star. But guys, we never got that. In my opinion, Madonna would have been perfect. I mean, it's a bit of a weird mix when you think of it, Madonna and Charles Bronson coming together for a movie. I mean, wow, it sounds like an explosive situation on the set and off. And whatever the case, guys, Murphy's Law is a really cool film. And man, I think it's one of Bronson's better vehicles in the 80s. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed my little casting discussion on a Charles Bronson canon film that I think is rather underappreciated. And guys, a lot goes into the making of these films, from the production design to the script to the costuming to the final casting decisions. And guys, this one was a very interesting one. And Murphy's Law is a cut above some. And I think when you look at Bronson's 80s catalogue, this one is looked upon quite affectionately. Anyway, guys, it was great again talking about Charles Bronson. I mean, he really left behind a fascinating body of work. Tell me, guys, in the comments below, have you seen Murphy's Law? What do you think of the film? Do you think Kathleen Wilhoit was a great Arabella McGee? And tell me if you think it could have been an even better proposition if it went a different way, say in the direction of Madonna. Guys, tell me in the comments below, and you will see me again very soon. But until then, this is Retro Man, living the dream, 80s style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang and just as cool as Charles Bronson. Please subscribe and good night, viewers.